Hey, good morning. It's Mike Zschunke at Berkshire Hathaway Homes and Shifton Properties, Scottsdale, Arizona. A little early this morning. We have a signing at 8 o'clock. So, a lot of agents don't attend the signings in Arizona, but we like to. We like to follow up with our clients the whole way through. And be there to answer any questions. Anyway, we're going to talk about residential, commercial, the economy. I've got a lot to talk about. Let's see. First, inventory. Up quite a bit this week in Maricopa County and Scottsdale, and we need it. I am seeing a lot of the homes that were on the market earlier in the summer are starting to trickle back on last summer. Some are priced better, some are the same. But it is good to see some more inventory. We need that. January, we've been super busy this week. We're getting a lot of calls, buyers coming off the fences. And we always have that little tick up in January of people wanting to make a move, commercial and residential. People want to do something. I hope it doesn't end up like your gym membership and everybody fades out in February, March, because we really need to get some activity back to, we're getting to a more normal market. But, 2025 nationwide, we had existing home sales were up 5%. 2024 overall was pretty slow. In Maricopa County, we had 12% more closings in December of 25 than we did in December of 24. Prices pretty steady. We had 30 consecutive months of price increases. Not the large price increases like we had in 22, 23, but just consistent. Wow, that guy's moving. Just consistent price increases for 30 consecutive months. Hot areas right now, Fountain Hills. Fountain Hills is super hot right now. And notice, I always say, pay attention to what's going on around communities. They're widening Shea Boulevard from Scottsdale out to Fountain Hills. So, they have teams of people that do studies. They see where the population's growing. So Fountain Hills, and there's some decent deals. Fountain Hills is beautiful. It's really changing. It was always kind of a retirement, older community, but now there's younger families moving in. There's some pretty nice properties out there, that you can get $1 million, but also up to $3, $4, $5 million in Fountain Hills. There's some really nice properties. Scottsdale's busy. Cave Creek, Anthem. We've been spending a lot of time in Anthem lately. It's pretty. Anthem's nice area. The outer lying areas is where a lot of the building and new construction is going on. The Buckeye, the Santan Valley, Queen Creek. So those are more buyer markets right now. Just because of the inventories growing a little bit faster out there with the new construction homes, you have that to compete with. We deal more with existing home sales. But again, the core areas that never really slow down, the Scottsdale, 1 to 3 million in Scottsdale is real popular right now. And again, it's just people relocating to the areas. So if you're not on the market yet and you're thinking about selling, do it now. We've got Barrett-Jackson coming up. We've got the Waste Management, the Phoenix Open Golf Tournament, Arabian Horse Show. Just a lot you'll see by traffic in the area. This is the time of year where people come to Arizona. It's cold other parts of the country. A little chilly here still, but it's supposed to be 80 degrees later on in the day. But yeah, it's people are coming off the fence, and I expect it to be a really busy spring season. Like I said, we've got a lot of buyers calling right now. We could use more sellers coming on the market, but it is what it is. We've got more people now have a 6% mortgage than have a 3% mortgage. So, and that's normal. It's over 7% is average over the last, 30 to 50 years. 6%, that's not bad. I had a client a few days ago. They got 5.875% on a 30-year fixed. It's pretty good. And we work with some great lenders. The first thing you want to do if you're looking at buying a property is get your financing in order. And we're here to help you, relocate. We're signing right now. They're coming from New York. So it's a process. There's a feeling in this Scottsdale, Arizona, Phoenix area in general, kind of like we made it, So it's kind of an unspoken feeling. Nobody's really from here. But anyway, commercial too. Commercials starting, it's getting a slow start at 2026, but it's moving. Down in Tempe's got a lot going on. ASU is putting a lot of money into the community. They're building 27 and a 29-story high-rise down in Tempe. There's another project, a 14 and a 15-story project down in Tempe going on right by the campus. So there's a lot of money. Tempe's really an attractive area, and it's pretty much based all around the companies down there and ASU. ASU is doing a lot. Deer Valley had a big sale. Investor group paid $90 million for 300,000 square feet. That's almost $300 a square foot industrial. And that, like we've been saying, that TSMC factory, the chip factory up in the microchip factory up in the Northwest Phoenix area, just yesterday they announced they're going to invest another $250 billion in the United States. A lot of that's going to that Phoenix area, and you'll see there's a lot of just the surrounding area, the support, that's all done by big teams of lawyers and things like that. But a lot of, you can make money. You can do well buying land out there, buying residential. There's a lot of residential communities popping up. And just the support businesses. ASM in Scottsdale is a support business for that TSMC factory. Just think about it. Everything we use today, even our laundry machine, we just got a new dryer, or looking at new dryers a couple of weeks ago. Everything's got a microchip in it. So that's bringing that back to the United States. That really helps the commercial real estate market. So there's a lot going on. Banner Health on the northeast corner of Scottsdale Road by DC Ranch, Silverleaf. That rezoning there, that got postponed. I think they're just trying to let things settle down from the other projects going up there. Community's starting to take note of all the building, and they're getting some pushback. So I think Banner Health just wanted to kind of slide under the radar there, so maybe they're pushing that rezoning process back a little bit. Can't be sure, but commercial, there's $1 trillion of, remember, commercial is all about financing and lending. So $1 trillion of commercial financing is coming due in 2026. And they've been working with the banks. Banks have been working with the people who own those properties, extend and pretend they call. But eventually those notes got to come due. And they either have to sell the property or do something. So pay attention to that. I think there's going to be a lot of commercial properties, some good deals coming available. And again, just pay attention to what's going on around there. Economy, economy is good. We had CPI, Consumer Price Index this week, PPI, Producer Price Index. That's kind of a leading indicator of consumer prices. Both a little warm this week, so we've still got to keep an eye on inflation. Anybody who says that the Fed's got to cut rates, and again, that's you and I look at the 10-year. The things that we take note of are based off the 10-year bond, 10-year and 30-year. And the longer mature, the longer duration notes, that's been trading in pretty steady range there. 417, I think, this week. And bonds have stayed pretty, even with all this noise going on, the bond market has stayed pretty steady. You will see mortgage rates came down about 25 basis points this week. And that's just because the spreads, there's a spread between what lenders borrow from the government and what they offer that rate to their clients at. And that spread has gotten tighter, and that's just because more stability in the market. Remember, the Fed has two jobs. They want stable prices and maximum employment. We had initial jobless claims the other day. It was under 200,000 initial jobless claims. Like Rick Santelli said, that goes back to the Beatles era, back to 1969. So we haven't really seen this crack in labor yet. Companies aren't hiring, but they're also not firing. So labor's pretty steady. We haven't seen that crack. We do still have some inflation challenges. Sorry about that. So keep an eye. There's really no reason for the Fed to cut interest rates. The big news this week is investigation into Chairman Powell. And, that gets kind of political. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And remember, Chairman Powell is just one person. Austin Goolsbee, he's the Chicago Fed president. He came out and said, you can't say that we're having a good, strong economy and also say that the Fed's not doing their job. Both things cannot be true at the same time. And I used to think Chairman Powell was kind of wimpy. Never liked him, but anybody who stands strong to their belief, I support. I support. If you can prove what you're saying, I don't think he lied. He's kind of, it's more about looking into the overspending of that federal building. I mean, is there any surprise we've got $500 federal spending on hammers? Are you surprised that the federal government spent too much money on a project? I don't know, $2.8 billion for a building is a lot of money, but it's the federal government. They spend money. So anyway, I want to get back to monetary policy versus fiscal policy. Monetary policy is the money supply in the United States. Fiscal policy is the government spending. Until we get that government spending under control, rates are where they are, and this economy is moving along. Who was it? Bernstein. He's a financial advisor, well-respected financial advisor. He said we've got GDP at almost 8%, adjusted GDP, almost 8%. That's a booming economy. Companies are making money. We're getting good earnings. This economy's rolling along, and people are spending money, whether they're spending it on credit or out of their pocket, I don't know, but I think credit's getting a little bit extended there. But it's all about liquidity. It's not really the rates that everybody's talking about. Anyway, that's just like I said, focus on you, focus on your deal. We're going to the signing here. Really fun deal. This was a great project. I give other realtors in the Maricopa County. Don't want to say too much, but I don't have much respect for a lot of over 70% of the real estate agents in America closed 0 deals last year. So, pay attention, look at their history, talk to your agent, pick somebody who knows the market. Who can you talk to? We've got a great meeting next week. We're meeting with a new client, and just to see if we can work together. I don't know if I can help him, but we're going to meet, have coffee, and see if we can get him where he wants to be. He's an investor. He's looking to do some projects. We're just going to sit down, see if we can work together. So when you're looking to hire an agent on the buy side or the sell side, there's a lot to choose from. I hope you call us and give us an opportunity to work with you, but just see who you can work with. And, the market is what it is. And like I said, if you're looking to sell right now, I think you better, if you're even thinking about it, let's sit down and have a conversation. See if it works for you. Anyway, we got a busy day ahead, and then we got a final walkthrough later today. That's another fun deal we're working on. So anyway, have a great day. Be smart. Be safe. If you go to Barrett Jackson at any time or any of the Car Week events, let us know. We're happy to meet up. We'll be popping in and out a lot of those events this week. So love to chat with you. And anyway, have a great day. Be smart. Be safe. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.